Hello everyone, Nate Lansing here. It's Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Tips. Today we will be talking about the six major items or sections of the purchase agreement that you need to decide prior to submitting an offer for a house you'd like to purchase. So the first section or first thing that you need to decide on is the amount of your earnest money. So in past videos, I've described what earnest money is. If you'll recognize this video, essentially it is a deposit that you put down to show the seller that you are serious about purchasing their home and you don't plan to back out at the last minute. Typical earnest money amounts range from 1% to 2%, but those can be negotiated and decided upon. But that is the first item you will have to decide on as you're submitting a purchase agreement. The second item that you'll need to decide is the price, obviously. As we've been talking about in this crazy real estate market, pricing can be pretty tricky. We've talked about some other things like escalation clauses, appraisal guarantees. These are all related to the price discussions that you need to have with your agent. Your agent can walk you through comps for the area, what's happening in the market, etc. So that is obviously a major portion of what you need to decide on when you are submitting an offer. The third would be your closing date. Now, depending on what the market you're in, whether you're in a buyer's market or seller's market, if you're dealing with multiple offers, etc., you can either pick the closing date that is best for you, or try to be flexible and meet what's best for the seller. In a multiple offer situation, it's a really good idea to try to be flexible and help the seller get the closing date that they really want. They may have some buying and selling situation going on. It can really make your offer stand out. So that is the third thing that you will need to decide with your agent on how you're going to handle the closing date in the purchase agreement. The fourth will be, will the seller be contributing to your closing costs? Now, in the current market that we're in now, we're not really seeing sellers or buyers even asking for the seller to contribute to their closing cost amount. It does happen in normal markets, and you see it every once in a while right now. So say you're making an offer for a house that's listed at $250, you're going to make an offer for $260, but you're going to ask for $10,000 in contributions to your closing costs. The seller's net price will really be $250. So that's kind of how that works. Buyers use that to apply to any closing costs they have through the lender. It lets them keep some cash in pocket for a larger down payment. Those are some things that you need to go over and maybe adjust the price if that's something you'd like to do when you submit your offer. The fourth major section of the purchase agreement you will have to decide on is inspection. Will this purchase be contingent on having an inspection done? So I did a video earlier in the year about whether it's a good idea to waive the inspection or not, but you need to decide whether you're going to do an inspection, if the purchase agreement is contingent on that inspection, and then how many days you are going to request for an inspection period. In normal markets, 7 to 10 days is pretty reasonable, but these days when there's so many competitive offers, those days are being compressed down to even 1, 2, or 3 days to get an inspection done. So that's another item that you will have to go over with your agent and kind of come up with what works best for you on how you want to handle the inspection contingency. The last section, or the sixth section that you really need to decide about is this purchase contingent on a sale of a home you already own? So in Minnesota here, we can make offers on homes contingent on you selling your current house. That basically means that you're not going to go through with the purchase of the new place unless your current place sells. Right now in the market, we're not seeing a lot of those at the moment, just because there's so much competition, and there's a lot more risk to the seller to base their sale of their home on the sale of your home. There's just so many more layers of risk involved. So that is something that you will need to decide with your agent about how you're going to handle that. If you do need to sell prior to buying, I did a video about this a while back too, about how to buy and sell at the same time. There's some tips and tricks in there. So check that out if you have any questions. The last section really is, I guess I'll just say it's an other, it'd be the seventh, but it's just an other area. Things like, are you going to do an escalation clause in the price? Is an appraisal guarantee something you need to do? Any other special situations that come up with the purchase of the house? So those are the major items that you and your agent will need to decide as you decide to put an offer in on a home that you'd like to buy. Once again, if you have any questions about the process of buying or selling, or anything, any questions about how to make your offer maybe more attractive in this kind of crazy market that we're in these days, I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a good rest of the week, and I will be back again with some more Tuesday tips. Thanks, everyone.